Well, I got everything painted. Valve covers are a little wet right now because I just had to hit them with a bit on the ends. It's a little shallow. It's just stopped raining, but I'm getting ready to put the motor mounts on. Now, these are, I'm gonna murder this name, I know I am. It's either TJs or TJs or some sort of name like that. It's TAJAS or ES. Anyway, these are the best mounts you can get. And the reason being, with these mounts, you do not have to change your oil pan or anything. In fact, the only thing you have to do is move your cross member where your transmission bolts up back a little bit. Some people say you even have to move them forward. But anyway, it sits in the motor, or it sits in the engine bay real nice. When it's in there, I actually have a buddy who has this on his, I think it's an 84, but it sits back and down enough to where, I mean, you could have this thing bagged and it wouldn't, the oil pan wouldn't hit the ground. It sits that nice. But yes, that cross member right there may have to be moved back or forward. I'm not sure. That one I'm probably going to cut up and do a little bit of humps in there to get the exhaust to go through. But other than that, everything else fits like a glove. You keep your clamshells on your frame. You get them mounts, and they're actually labeled, which I love because some people's like right and left, but it's like, is it right and left standing this way, right and left, or is it standing inside the cab, right and left? You know, it's all crazy like that. These are actually labeled driver and passenger. Perfect. And since I know that I am on the driver side of the engine, driver. But I'm gonna get those on. I have my bolts painted right now. They're in flat black. What else was there? I'm getting ready to go pick up some new calipers. I broke a bleeder off of one, and I was just like, wonder how much these things are. Went and checked, $21 a piece for calipers. I said, getting new ones, easy peasy. But I'm gonna bolt these mounts on, and then I'm gonna go pick up my calipers, and I'm gonna paint them. There was something else I had to do, or should I say I wanted to do. Oh, I gotta take and get my springs re-squared. I gotta heat this in and flatten them back out. But I don't have OA torches, oxygen acetylene, so I'll have to take it somewhere. Alright, so I am super filthy already. After hand sanding them springs, there's literally no other way to get them nice and clean. I put some rust preventative oil-based primer on it out of a can, just your regular stuff. Now my brand new calipers I just bought, those are painted with engine enamel primer. I have VHT bright blue somewhere. I was carrying it with me like 10 minutes ago. It's over there still. But these are all getting painted blue. Then tomorrow, hopefully these will be dry. Put my lower ball joints in, put my spindles on, take my rotors and have them turn, clean the bearings, repack them. My truck will be back on all fours again, ready to start doing the brakes and possibly even getting that LS in there. Spindles are right there, drop spindles. Now, let me see if I can't find a tape measure. Sorry about the fast movement, but it is what it is. Yeah, that's how big of a mess my garage is right now. Because I get frantic, and then things actually don't even get done that fast. So, let's see here. Right here's what I want. That spindle is 5 1/4. About 5 1/4 up to the center of it. And this one is about 2, I'm going to say 2 3/4. So that's a 2 inch, maybe 2.5, 2.5 I would say, drop spindles. So 2.5-inch spindles with 2-inch cut springs. That's 4.5. Or 2-inch, I said 2-inch, right? 2-inch springs, 2.5, 4.5 in the front. And I have 5-inch flips over there. Yep. And this already actually has shackles on it because the truck was level. But I think once I flip it 5 and do 4.5, I'll have to C-notch this. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the motor in. I'm going to get it back on all fours with the brakes, so I can literally push it out and pull the bed off. So that way I can do my fuel system and, you know, flip kit and whatnot. Yeah, them rims and tires are disgustingly dirty, but we're making progress. Making progress. That's all that matters, is that we're making progress. We're making bacon, baby. So I missed a little bit on those, so I just hit the spots. They're basically done. And if we go over here, I've been doing some blue. That's not the truck blue, that's different blue. But my coil springs are now blue. They were rusty, but I sprayed them pretty heavy, so that way, you know, it wouldn't be so hard or so easy to scratch them. Let me see, I got a couple of drips here. This is oil-based paint. It's real tough. I'm just trying to make it to where it don't look like it's a gloopy mess on there. But I initially brushed this one, and then I friggin' was brushing and it fell off because there's no real way to hold these things. And when it did, I got mad and I said, screw it, let's spray them. So I sprayed them. HVLP. You do like the same as the frame, the 2 to 1/3, 2 parts oil-based paint to 1/3 of mineral spirits or oil-based reducer. Now, while I'm waiting for them to dry, which is probably going to be all day, I have been working on my suspension. I got my uppers and lower ball joints in. Just got my spindle sitting there. It's definitely going to be low. I need to get the seal off of the back of the new rotors because they're 1-inch. And need to see if I can get it. Wonder if they're all the same. But I need to get the seals for those. And need to clean the bushings because you can see they have that old yellow garbage grease in there. I only use the Red and Tack, the Red and Tacky Lucas with the anti-seize in it. And this stuff right here, this is the bomb. This is cheap too. This tube is like $3 at your local wall store. I think it's about 4 or 5 at auto parts stores, but best stuff ever. And that'll be what I'll be using on my bearings and everything. I actually packed the lower ball joint rubber grease holder full, and I will be getting that in one of the grease guns and greasing that everything with it, really. It looks killer right now. It's all blacked out, but the blue springs, and I'm going to paint the sway bar the same blue, and I got black bushings. So all that's going to look real killer and nice. But I'm just staying busy here, working through it. So a quick little update here. These are the rotors that came with the spindles. I just got new pads and seals in this box, which they don't come together. I just put the seals in there. But knocked the old ones out. The bearings are still like brand new. They're over there. I got to wash them things out with brake clean. I don't like the generic yellow grease they use in these, so I always put the Red and Tack, but I cleaned them, wire wheeled them, and painted the inside of them. I know it's pointless, but I just wanted to do it because it makes me feel happy. But I am now going to flip them over. I'm going to paint the front side too. And again, they're gonna rust. I don't care. I just, it makes me feel happy to see a clean, rotor behind that behind that Chrome 20. So I'm gonna flip these after it dries here in a second. Just flat black, regular, rust protector garbage from the wall store, and just makes me feel better. These are all have to be turned, so I ain't worried about hitting them in here. I know you're seeing the paint on here. Don't worry about it. There's still a lot of grease in there. It can literally wipe right out because it's still that dirty. But yeah, all that's got to get cleaned out. Bearings got to get cleaned out, repacked, re-greased, put on after I put the springs on.